Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to the Heffy Doodle YouTube channel. In today's card making video, I am taking this Silly Slimline Slants die and making a fun and whimsical shaker card. I love this die. I think it would be really fun to use it with two die cuts and rotate one for another fun look, but for today I'm going to make a shaker with it. So I wanted a background behind the shaker, and I decided to use both cracked pistachio and salvaged patina on some of the Heffy Doodle white cardstock, which is so smooth and perfect for ink blending. So I'm just going to have those colors meet in the middle and blend them together. They look great together, and they both have that bright, cheery kind of turquoise and bright green color that I love. These are like my favorite colors. So then once that's done, I'm going to spritz this with a little bit of water, and I'll pick up the excess water with a microfiber cloth, and then you can see that I have the really nice light oxidization, that's a hard word, splatter in the background. And I decided I wanted a little more splatter as well, so I took some white acrylic paint. I'm mixing in a little bit of water, and it's right on this plastic window sheet, and I just use the edge of my paintbrush on the edge of that plastic to splatter on there. Now I'm going to take some images from the Dear to Me stamp set, stamp them with some Copic friendly ink on the Heffy Doodle alcohol friendly cardstock. Love this paper. I'm using E31 as the lightest color to color in both of my deer. So I'm going to color the whole image except the areas I want to be white with this E31 marker. And that's going to give me a nice coverage, plus allow the darker color E34 to blend in really nicely because I already have that lighter color down. So I'm just adding in those shadows. I do go over it 2 times, just making a little bit thicker line, and then I'll bring back the E31 and really blend out those colors so they have a soft line where they meet up. And then I can even go back with the E34 and add a little bit more shadowing if I feel like I need it. And I just love this color combination for my deer, but you could always go darker. That would be a really cute look too, just depending on what your scene calls for. So there is the deer, and I will color the smaller one the exact same way, and then we have like a mama and a baby deer, and I think they're so precious. I used E27 for their noses and their hooves, and it's also the base color for my little stump here. I love a tree stump. I love it. I just love all things woodland. So when this set came and it had the stump, the deer, there's a little mouse, the mushrooms. Oh man, I just love this set. So you could really create a fun woodland scene with these, but I thought it would be fun to kind of just do something a little bit different with them that's maybe a little bit unexpected, but also really fun and cute. So for my mushrooms, I used R22 and R24. So here at first, I was trying to just leave some white area for the dots on them, but in the end, I actually just colored over them so it was solid, and I'll add in the white spots with my gel pen. So for anything white, I'm adding a little shadow with my E40 marker, the white parts on the deer and the stems of the mushroom. And here is my white gel pen. I'm adding highlights to all of the images on here and those very important white dots on my mushrooms. So they look like my favorite mushroom with the red caps and the white spots. We just made a mushroom hat like that for my daughter, so I'm kind of obsessed with those mushrooms right now. So that finishes off the coloring. You can see the images up close right here. And now it's time to die cut them out with the coordinating dies. I have my Heffy tape and my most favorite teeny tiny die cutting machine to die cut these out. It works so good. I love that I can set it off to the side on my desk. It doesn't take up a lot of room. It's very stable, and I can just grab it and pull it in no matter what kind of mess I've made at my desk. There's always room for it. So that cut them out beautifully, and now I'm taking the very vertical greetings and stamping out love you. And really, when you're doing this, if you want to die cut these out with the coordinating dies, you should do that before you stamp because they're solid dies. but I didn't. So this is what I did. I die cut it out from a scratch piece of paper. I used that as a window to figure out where I wanted the die to go, laid that into the window, and die cut them out. So problem solved. I'm using those same R markers that I used on the mushrooms to color out the letters on both of these. And so it gives it a little bit of a soft ombre look, and I love it so much. And it will play with the colors in the mushrooms, repeating that. All right, so now it's time to make our shaker. I've added glue from my little Glubert to the back of this die cut, and then some of the thinner foam tape from Heffy Doodle to create the reservoir for my shaker. And you just want to make sure all the corners touch on your foam tape so none of the shaker elements escape, which, by the way, I'm using two kinds of chunky glitter, one that's iridescent and one that's clear, and this is going to give it a really nice shiny background. I just tapped on a little bit of my anti-static powder tool there in the glitter, and I also did it on the window sheet before I put the glitter in, and then I can sandwich that onto my ink blended background. I'm mounting this on a card base that is 8 3/4 by 7.5, scored at 3 3/4, so that I could get that white border all the way around this die cut Silly Slimline Slant die cut, which when die cut measures 8.5 by 3.5. So now I'm just adding on my sentiment banners and cutting them off at the top. There are dies to cut holes in the top of these where you could add ribbon or eyelets. Very cool die set, and you can use them with or without these things. So on the two deer, I wanted them to be a little bit thicker, and so I die cut a plain deer and baby deer and glued it to the back of these die cuts. It just raises them up a little bit, and then I glued on my stump, my mushrooms, and that little flower right around there. I also did a second sentiment, and I just cut this out with scissors to make it really thin, and it says, "You are so dear to me." I think it's very sweet. So it just needed a little something else. I was shaking it around, thinking about it, and I decided I did need a little bow of twine at the top of my sentiments there. So I pulled out my roll of jute twine, tied a little bow, and that was going to be the perfect thing because it plays with that kind of woodland feel. It's so scraggly and natural looking, and plus it's like the same color as the deer. So I love it. I think it looks really cute over there. So that is my fun little deer card that's maybe not so much of a scene building card, but it has my favorite things. The shaker, the glitter, the deer, the mushrooms. I just had a lot of fun playing with this and making a kind of non-traditional card today. I thank you so much for stopping by and letting me share this card with you. You can find Heffy Doodle on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter too. We'll have more videos for you very soon, so stay tuned. And if you want the supplies I have used, they are listed for you below. I'll see you all again very soon. Happy stamping. Bye.